Hello, hello again. This is Hams from the patio, and we are dividing multi-digit whole numbers, and this will be part one. Even though this first problem right here, we're dividing by a single digit, but we're going to go ahead and work these out. And if you struggle with these, don't worry about it. I'll show you how to do it. All right, so let's get started with the first one. We have 67 divided by 7. And on the second one over here, we have 88 divided by 37. And a lot of times these days, and a lot of workbooks and worksheets and whatever, sometimes you'll see your problems written horizontally, like 67 divided by 7. And over here, 88 divided by 37. And so, therefore, since it's written like this, I'll just show you where everything goes. And we want to use the process of long division. And the 67 is the dividend. That's what's being broken up. We're dividing 67 or breaking 67 up into 7 parts. And 7 is the divisor. And our answer would be the quotient. I'll put a Q for there. And if there's anything left over, that would be the remainder. Okay, and so if you have to rewrite these horizontally, just take the first number, the number that's being divided, and that will go under our division symbol, and then outside of that will be the divisor, which is in this case number 7. So let's erase this and let's get started with dividing whole numbers. Okay, so we have in this first example 67 divided by 7. And again, I do problems the way I was taught. And so I was taught here, I'll take the first digit. Since this is a single digit, we'll take the first digit and we'll see if we can divide 6 ones by 7 ones, since 7's in the ones place. And we can't, and so then we'll go to the second digit. And that's what we're dividing anyway. So now we're dividing 67 by 7. And so if you are pretty good with your multiplication, you know that 9 times 7 is 63. And so therefore 67 divided by 7 is 9. And we'll multiply. 9 times 7 is 63. And then we'll subtract that product, or we'll subtract that answer. I try not to use a whole bunch of math terms when I'm doing these videos, because a lot of people don't care about a bunch of math jargon. They just want you to show them how to do it. Okay, and then we're going to subtract 63 from 67. 7 minus 3 is 4, and 6, of course, minus 6 is 0. Now, there's nothing else left to divide. There's nothing else out here left to divide. And so 4 is what's left over, and 4 cannot be divided by 7. We can't get 7 parts out of 4, okay? I mean, you can if they're real small or smaller than 7. But in this case, we can't get 7 whole parts. All right, pertaining to our question. And so that is what we'll call the remainder. R equals 4. Oh, that kind of be it. So our answer is 9 with the remainder of 4. Now, depending on how your instructor or your teacher wants you to write your answer, I don't know, some people may want you to write that remainder as a fraction over the divisor. And so we get an answer of 9 and 4/7. And they also may want you to write this as a decimal also, and it'd be 9 and then point whatever that may be, 4 divided by 7. All right, and so that's how we would do that. Let's look at the second question, 88 divided by 37. Okay. So we have 2 digits here, and we have 2 digits here. So 2 digits divided by 2 digits. When I was taught way back when, I was told to take the first digit and see if you can divide that into the first digit, and that can give you an estimation of whether or not that can be divided into this number a certain number of times. So in other words, we take 3 and we see, can 8 be divided by 3? Yeah, 2 times, right? Because 2 times 3 is 6. And so we'll put the 2 right here. Notice I put the 2 over the second 8, not the first one, because we're dividing 37, not 3. Okay, and so 2 right here over the second 8, because we're dividing 88 by 37. Now, what if this would have been a 1 or 3 right here? And we multiplied that and we'd have got more than 88. Then we'd have saw that that wouldn't work, so we would have went down to 2. All right, so now we can just multiply. 2 times 7 is 14, and we'll carry the 1. And 2 times 3 is 6, plus the 1 is 7. And so in other words, 2 times 37 is 74. and we'll subtract 74 from 88. 8 minus 4 is 4, and 8 minus 7 is 1. So now we have 14. There's nothing else left to divide, and 14 cannot be divided by 37, or 37 would not divide into 14. So that's what's left over. So we have an answer of 2 and remainder 14. And also, again, if your instructor wants you to write this as a mixed number, that'll be 2 and 14/37. All right, let's look here. Now we have 503 divided by 41. Again, this could be a problem that is written horizontally in your textbook or workbook or whatever it may be. And then again, remember, this is the dividend goes under the symbol. This goes outside. That is the divisor. So we want to break 503 up into 41 parts. How many times can we do that? How many times can we break 503 into 41 equal parts? All right, and that's what we're doing. And so here we look at the first digit. This is 41, and we'll look at what we have here. But I'll take the first digit and see if I can divide it into the first digit here. And it'll go one time. Again, sometimes that is indicative of what we will have as far as how many times that can be divided. And so I'm going to put the 1 over the 0, not the 5, because we're dividing two digits by two digits. This is 50 divided by 41. And 1 times 41 is 41. So now I'll subtract. 50 minus 41 is 9. In other words, 0 minus 1. We can't subtract 1 from 0. So we'll borrow from the 5, which is just borrowing 10, because 5 is in the tens place, and we're borrowing 10. And 10 minus 1 is 9. But what's left over is 4, and 4 minus 4 is 0. Now we'll bring down, we have a 3 left over. We'll bring that down. And now we have 93 divided by 41. And so again, same method. I'll take the first digit 4 and see if that'll divide into the first digit 9 here. And it will. It'll divide into that 2 times. And so we'll put the 2 here above the 3 because that's where we are now in our problem. And we'll multiply and see if that works. 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 4 is 8. And so that will divide into 93 2 times, of course. And now we'll subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1, and 9 minus 8 is 1. So now that's what's left over is 11. And so in other words, we can divide 503 up by 12 parts that are 41. Okay, so if I divide, how many times can I divide or break up 503 into 41, into groups of 41? And we could do that 12 times. And our answer, therefore, then we have a remainder of 11, since 11 can't be divided by 41. And again, if your teacher wants you to write this as a mixed number, 12, and what's left over is a fraction or a part of 41, 11 over 41. All right, lastly, in this example, we have 48 divided into 73, not 7. 734, goodness. 734 divided by 48. All right, again, since this is 2 digits, I'll just look at the first 2 digits to get us started. And I'll ask myself, can I divide 73 by 48? And of course we can. But how many times though? Well, we'll take the first number, which kind of indicate that, and 7 can be divided by 4 one time. And so therefore, we'll see that 48 can probably just be divided, 73 can probably be divided by 48 one time. And so let's see, 48 times 1 is 48, of course. Now, if this was, when you subtract and you get a number larger than 48, then you know that 1 was not enough, okay, in this case. But it's not the case for this question. So now we'll subtract 48 from 73. 13, or 3 minus 8, we'll borrow 1 here, and 13 minus 8 is 5. And we have 6 left over. Can't see my 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. So that's 25. And like I was saying before, if you were to subtract this, let's just say, for example, you were to subtract this and you would have gotten 50, right? When that means that then this number would not have been enough. So we would need to go back and change that to a 2, all right, to get what we need, all right? And so therefore that'll be 1. And now we'll bring down the 4 and repeat the process again, because 48 divided into 25. Now here's an example. Let's see. Let's take the 4. 4 can't divide into 2, but 4 can divide into 25 6 times. And if you're working these, now you can multiply 6 times 8 is 48. We'll carry the 4. And 6 times 4 is 24. 24 plus 4 is 28. And I get 288. Uh-oh, wait a minute. But we said 25 divided by 4 was 6. And that's true. But again, we're not just doing 4 and 25. This is 254 divided by 48. And so that 6 is too much. And so what we have to do at that point is come down and bring that down to 5. See if that'll work. So then we have 5 times 8 is 40. We'll carry the 4 now. And then 5 times 4 is 20. Plus the 4 is 24. Now we have what we need. So sometimes you can get a number too large here, and that means that you just need to bring it down as you work these through trial and error. All right, now we can subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4, and 5 minus 4 is 1, so that's 14. And so now we have an answer of 15. I'll write it right here, with a remainder of 14. And if your teacher or instructor wants you to write this as a mixed number, we have 48 and 15, 48. Oh man, I knew I would mess that up. 15 and 14 over 48. And that fraction can be reduced, okay, by 2. 2 will go into 14 7 times and into 48 24. So if they want you to reduce the fraction part, you can reduce that to 7/24. And that's all there is to it. Okay, hopefully this helps. That's part 1. And then you can watch part 2 where we'll do more digits on part 2. So stay tuned for that. All right, that is it. Hopefully that helps you out. That's how I do it. And hopefully it didn't confuse you. Thank you very much and wishing you much success.